Hey guys, Lisa with Our Weekend Homestead, and it is mid-July and we are up to our eyeballs in harvesting and preserving our summer garden. But now is the best time to start planning for the fall garden. So today I have my work cut out for me. I'm going to be figuring out the best areas to plant my fall garden. I want to practice good crop rotation. I'm going to go through all of my seed packets and figure out which ones I have and what I need to order. I've got my seed booklets, and I also have my Clyde's garden planner. This helps me to decide when I need to plant indoors to start my seeds and have them ready to get my fall garden out in time. The first part of planning our fall garden is to kind of go over the areas that we have to grow in. And here in our urban garden, we have a little bit of south, west, and east facing areas. We have some stock tank containers, grow bags, in-ground beds, and some raised beds. And we've primarily grown tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers in those areas. So to practice good crop rotation and to kind of enrich our soil with the next crop, we're gonna switch over to growing Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and cabbage, where we grew the tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers. And then in the areas that we grew the beans, we're gonna switch over to radishes, carrots, and maybe some beets. So that's our first step, and we're gonna go ahead and get that plotted out on some graph paper, kind of figure out what areas we want to grow in. The next step is to kind of figure out when I need to start my seeds indoors, if I'm starting them indoors, or if I'm going to direct sow them. And for me, I use Clyde's garden planner. It is super helpful. It kind of gives you a slide. You can figure out what your first frost date is, and it'll tell you when you need to get your seeds started or when you can plant them in ground and what that last planting date is. So this is super helpful. I'll have a link to this in the description below, but that's my next step, is to figure out what I'm planting and when I need to get those started indoors, or what my last date is to get them in ground outside. So for seeds, I still purchase quite a few seeds online, and I also do some seed saving. I'll be honest, I haven't done a whole lot of seed saving, so that's new for me. But each year I get a little bit better and a little bit more brave and save a few more. And what I'm gonna do this year is I'm gonna try a few out in the fall. That would be maybe my spring or summer seeds, and just make sure that I get a good germination rate on those so that I don't ruin my whole summer garden. But some of the seeds that I save are going to be some of my San Marzano Lungo tomatoes, and I had really good success this year with the seeds that I did save from previous years. So I'll definitely be doing that again. And then my pole beans. I've been saving the seed pods from my pole beans, and I'll be saving those as well to plant next year. And that's a first time for me for those, so we'll see how that goes. But I have some of the seed pods here that I pulled off, and then I'm basically just gonna pop those open and save them in just an envelope, put the date on it and what they are, and save those for next season. This is one of our garden supply storage areas where we have most of our supplies for soil, irrigation, fertilizer. I'm going to be going through this, making a list of what we have, what we're low on, and what we need to replace. So today, the crops that we're going to get ready for our fall garden are Brussels sprouts, asparagus, celery. We have a few different types of broccoli and a few different types of cabbage. We have our potting mix that we make here, and we have a video that will show you how you can make your own potting mix as well. And we're going to go ahead and get these into our cups, and we're going to keep them indoors on our indoor seed starting rack. So I got all my seeds into the cups and they're ready to take them indoors and get them on the seed starting rack. Our summer potato harvest did so well that we're going to go ahead and plant another crop for the fall. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the grow bags. We did really well with the grow bags. We do have a video that shows you how to use grow bags and how to grow potatoes in them. So I'm going to go ahead and get a second round of potatoes into the grow bags, and we'll hopefully have potatoes all through winter. I got all 5 potato grow bags planted. The only thing that I'll have to add to this is the drip irrigation. This stock tank container garden is ready to be planted for fall. We're going to be planting some beets, and then later on we're going to put in some kohlrabi, and that'll go in the back when we get a little bit closer to our frost dates. It's always best to look at the backs of your seed packets to see if there's any special preparations that you need to do for your seeds. So for these beet seeds, it asks for us to soak them for about 12 hours before we plant them. So we went ahead and did that, and we're ready to get these started. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going. So we got all the beets planted in the stock tank container, and we're gonna just have to come in and do a little bit more irrigation. On my list of supplies that I need is some more perforated drip line. Irrigation is always something that is evolving, and you'll be working on that and changing it up depending on what type of crop you put in. So that'll be the last step. I'll get enough to finish up the stock tanks and also redo the new grow bags. This area here is where I'll be planting the brassicas, but first we have to wait for this last harvest of tomatoes, and then probably within about a week or two I'll be pulling all of this out and getting it prepared for the Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and all those fall crops. Another thing I like to do to get ready for my fall or summer garden is to have my soil tested. It's really easy to do. There's an online source that we will link to, and all you have to do is gather 5 different soil samples from the area that you want tested, and you send it in with a check. They give you a whole full report of what's in your soil, what it's lacking, and things to do to get it ready for the next growing season. Here's our soil test from earlier in the year. The top section shows you all the nutrients in your soil and what the levels are. The bottom section gives you fertilizer recommendations to help improve your soil. So now that our fall garden is all planned out and we started our seeds indoors on our seed starting rack, it's time to get back to harvesting and preserving our summer garden. We really hope that you enjoy our videos, and if you do, be sure and give us a thumbs up. And if you want to connect with us, we sure would love to hear from you, and you can do that in the area below. If you want to help support our channel, the best way to do that is by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. And you can connect with us also on Instagram and see what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. We thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.